Welcome to Board Games and Chill. I'm Jerome.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Gabriella.
Today we're doing our top 30, number 10 through 1. If you want to see the rest of ours, 30 through 21 and 20 through 11, follow the description. Follow the links in the description.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yep. Yeah. So I'll start with my number 10. It's going to be Spirit Island.
Oh, nice.
2017 publication. I've got it as greater than games. I don't know.
That's true too.
Okay. Yeah. Designed by R. Eric Ruiz. We learned this game a few weeks ago, and I learned it, but I really enjoyed it. I like the description of anti-Catan. You know, you're the spirits of this island trying to force these settlers off of your damn island, and we're working together. We're helping the natives of the island, trying to defeat these people.
Yeah, we're putting fear into the settlers.
Yeah, I love that it's asymmetrical power, so each one is completely different and does different things. It's high complexity. It really makes you think and strategize. I like the way the boards are set up, where you use pieces that are stop blocking some of your powers to put on the main board, and that unlocks some of your abilities.
That reminds me of like Scythe, where you unlock one to do another ability.
Yep.
That's a really clever design.
I agree. I think I've played it 6 times now in a couple weeks, and God, I just love it.
It's a great game. Okay, you want to go?
Yeah. My number 10 is Feudum.
Oh.
I really wonder if that made that on your list.
Wow.
Yeah, I do really enjoy Feudum. I like that game a lot. It's definitely something that takes a little while to get to, or like to play the game.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of the games that I like are usually like that. I mean, like, or at least the ones that I have listed, I feel like.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, I do really like Feudum. That game took a while for us to get to the table.
It did.
Like, literally, I think we had it for a year.
We got it we got it to the table after the second Kickstarter. Or the third Kickstarter with the expansions. That's when we really got out of the table. We laid it out. We learned it. One of our friends really knows it well, Craig. So he was helpful.
Yeah.
And so.
But that's a really great game too. If
It's
you haven't
beautiful,
played
yeah.
it yet, it's beautiful. It's seamless. It's smooth. It's
Once you get going, it's not that hard. It's
it looks a lot more intimidating than it actually is.
Yep. Okay. My number 10 is Black Rose Wars. So Black Rose Wars is pretty much you're playing as competing mages trying to win the Black Rose spell. But the trick is with magic is sometimes those things can hurt you too. So the Black Rose can actually win the game as well. So
I like that about the game.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And the game is an arena battle. It reminds me a little bit of Adrenaline, where you do the area control of when you get hit, you show like the green cubes, because that's what Jerome is, and then Gabby hit me like 3 times. And, so whoever kills you gets a point, and then whoever has a majority of it gets a certain amount of points. And it's a lot of fun, and when you die, it's not that big of a deal. You die, and then you just start again. It's not detrimental. It's not like, oh no, I'm screwed. Like, you can die a million times and still win. So, alright.
Yeah.
It's Black Rose.
My number 9 is Cowboy Bebop Space Serenade. 2020 game by Japanime Games by Johan Benevento and Florian Cicerex. It's a deck builder based on the anime Cowboy Bebop. I'm going to be straight up. Mostly it's theme here. I love Cowboy Bebop. I love deck builders, and this combines the two. It's not really a co-op, but it's not a competitive either. I mean,
it's definitely competitive. It's not a co-op.
No. What I mean is, it's not like a big take that. You're not fighting each other. You're basically working together in a sort of way to try and capture as many bounties as you can, and then try to capture the big villain. You have the Bebop, which is the spaceship, multiple planets, and you're moving minis around trying to capture these bounties. And I enjoy it. It's a fun little deck builder.
Cool. Yeah. All right, Gabby.
My number 9 is Century Spice, but the Golem edition. And I really love that one in particular just because of the components. It's so pretty. So yeah, obviously I like aesthetics.
It's a good intro game.
It's a good intro game.
Plan
We
B,
played it with our
Mike
niece.
Young.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I told you,
boy.
Mike, we'd have another board game of yours up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's another game that I really like to play. It's simple, it's easy, it's fun. It's something that we can play with our niece. You know, I mean, she's a smart 10-year-old, but yeah, it's something we can play with any newbie.
I just think it's hilarious that you go from Feudum to Century.
To Century Spice, yeah.
You went from the heaviest game in the world to
like one of the lightest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a great another tableau builder.
Mm-hmm.
Or not a tableau.
No.
It's an engine builder.
It's an engine builder.
Yeah, it's a good intro engine builder.
Yeah. I would say kind of a little bit of deck building in a way.
Yeah, it definitely.
Yeah, because you know you're trying to build your deck to be the most optimal for you to trade in your crystals in the game because you have, you know, like a penny, a nickel, quarter, and a dollar.
Yeah, you exchange.
So, mm-hmm.
Yeah, you basically exchange these gems to. I'm not sure what the theme is really. It's like you give these gems
to like
the
recruit
golem.
the golems, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, but it's a really pretty cool game and it's just fun.
It's super pretty on the table, especially with the mat.
Yeah, the mat really makes it. Yeah.
Okay, my number 9 is Marvel Crisis. So this is actually my first really intro to miniature gaming. Yes, miniature gaming. I play skirmish games, just not miniature gaming. And I remember back in the day, like 2016, when X-Wing came out, I was like, I'm going to get X-Wing. And Gabby was like, no.
First of all, we didn't have the space in our tiny 900 square foot apartment for that.
Yeah.
So there was that.
Yeah, so I love Marvel. You know, Legendary is one of our first games, and just Marvel in general. I grew up with Marvel. So it's by Atomic Mass Games. Came out in 2019 by Will Pagini and Will Ship. And we have like 6 plays. But I probably painted more hours than I have played the game. I wish I could show you my collection, but well, this is my most recent one. I'm sure you can see it, probably not, but yeah, that's She-Hulk. So the miniature quality is amazing. I love painting them. I feel cool painting them, I guess. But we have a lot of fun moments. I remember one time. I used Hulk and I was smashing on MODOK, and I'm rolling like 12 dice, you know, because he's already injured. So the more injured he is, the more dice he rolls. So I'm like, hell yeah! I'm like, woo, rolled it. It was like straight wilds, which normally are hits, but against MODOK, it totally canceled it out. So I was like, no. But I got revenge later, so not a big deal. Yeah, that was my number 9. Go ahead.
My number 8 is Res Arcana. 2019 Sandcastle Games by Ton Lehman. Gabby talked about it earlier. It was on her list. It's a engine builder. You start off with 8 cards. I love that fact that you have to build this strategy on 8 cards. You have to build this engine to give you resources to try and buy locations that give you more resources to get victory points.
It's a very tense game.
It is a very tense game. We played a game together and we ended up having 14 points across the board. It was a 3-way tie because the game can get really close. I enjoyed everything about that game.
Definitely. That's a good one.
Yep.
My number 8 is Tyrants of the Underdark.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like I mentioned in some of our previous videos, Tyrants, Scythe, Terraforming Mars, Blood Rage, those were like Great Western Trails. Those were all like part of our rotation.
Yeah.
But Tyrants of the Underdark, I think probably from the first time we played it, became an instant favorite.
Yeah.
That one, between the deck building and the cool little aspect of the way they discard cards going into promotion deck and the area control. With the area control in that game, I feel like that's what I do most in. I feel like I do a lot of deploying, and I like to take over the board.
Yeah, and it's funny because that's one game where we actually ran out of the pad of paper to score.
Yeah.
And we made a big piece of paper scoring chart, and that's pretty much how I teach the game too. That's the best way to teach that game is just the scoring.
Yep.
And we laminated it, used Expo marker, and that's what we've been doing.
Yep. So now it's green.
Yeah, it's pretty much green. My number 8 is Star Wars Outer Rim. Fantasy Flight Games, 2019 it came out. We already went over this kind of, but it's Corey Knizia, Tony Finchi, and I played it around 5 times. not much to say besides what we said already. It's pretty fun. I love we use Imperial Assault minis as the heroes because you know we pretty much have all of them. Running around, going out of rim, taking objectives. It's fun. I like how they have variations of, you know, if you want to do a shorter game or a longer game. Both, you know, either way is fun. It's a great game.
Yeah, love it.
And yeah, and the story, what I like about it too is like little stories you create. You know, you could be like Han Solo in the, you know, in Boba Fett's ship, and you're stealing whatever. It's just fun.
On a bounty mission, you know. Yeah, that's awesome.
Love it. Good.
Oh no, it is me.
Yep.
Number 7, This War of Mine.
This War of Mine.
Yeah, 2017 by Awaken Realms. Michael Orcas and Jacob Wyszynski. Hope that's right. This War of Mine is based on the digital game, the mobile game. They did it. What is it? A worker placement game?
Yeah.
I mean, it comes with minis. Basically, it's a post-apocalyptic world, and you're having to take care of your shelter and then send people out to gather more resources to help build your shelter as well as defend it. It comes with minis. It's got a nice, beautiful, big board.
Yeah. It's definitely not for the faint of heart either.
No. It's not. It has some dark moments. It's got a book of stories. So basically, if this card comes up, it tells you to read this number, and you go through this story. And it can get pretty dark. I've played it a handful of times now. It's a great game. I really have enjoyed it.
And they tried the whole thing where, you know, instead of having a normal rule book, you know, kind of learn it through there. That was aggressive, I guess. I guess the best way to have done it have a normal rule book and that as well to back you up.
Even if it was like 4 or 5 pages explaining what each part of the board is and what to do, that story little mission thing just it was a little
But look, there's a good community and we can always ask for help.
Agreed. Yep.
All right, you're number 7.
Okay. My number 7 is Elysium.
Nice. Good choice.
That we haven't played that game in a while either, but it's always been in the back of my mind, always wanting to play it, but we've gotten so many new games over the years and learning those, but that one's a really good one. That one has to do with the Greek gods, and I love all that like ancient world stuff, so give me anything Egyptian or Greek gods or anything like that. I love it. Like that Japanese Imperial, love it all. But yeah, that's a really good one that I
game. I like it a lot.
Me too.
Alright, mine is number 7 is Arkham Horror the card game. Fantasy Flight Games, came out 2016. Nate French, great name. Matthew Newman, and I have 16 plays of that game. I really enjoy it. I like it. I think that is my top horror game. Yep. Look at my list. So it's a lot of fun. I love the stories that come out of it. It's just incredible how these cards. There's nothing else in this game. It's just cards. That's all you need, and it just creates this awesome story. Always memorable stories. You know, I never forget the Orient Express mission that we did. You know, it's just amazing.
That was a really fun mission.
It's a deck construction game, but you also build up on that as well when you complete missions. You know, I always love games where you level up stuff or you upgrade, because then I feel like, progression. You know, it's always like the rags to riches thing for me. So it's great. And each time we finish a story or a campaign or a cycle, I guess, we always get like a cookie cake and we write like Arkham Horror completed. We're like, Cthulhu's dead.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, as a fat guy, I enjoy that part.
Honestly, I feel like that's the game that I hear you guys talk about the absolute most.
Yeah.
Like, you guys talk about that game a lot.
I accept that.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Number 6.
Number 6 for me is Black Rose Wars.
Nice.
2019 by Ludus Magnus Studio. Marco Montero is the designer. You talked about it earlier. Worker placement, area control, deck
Action
building.
Movement, yeah.
I said it in another video, I really love innovative stuff, and the way that you do the deck building in that is fantastic.
Yes.
You're not buying anything, you don't have to purchase, you don't have to build up points. Literally at the end of the round, you you go through these different decks, schools of magic. You pull 4 cards from any schools you want for the same, one of each. It doesn't matter, and you look through them. You keep 2 and put the other back, and they go in your hand.
Yep.
I've not played a deck builder that you literally just pick out cards you want and put it directly into your hand, and I love how they went about that.
Yep.
I'm not a very aggressive player, but the area control portion of it, fighting the other mages, doesn't feel super aggressive because, like you mentioned, if you die, you just go back to your room and you start over again.
Yep.
So, Black Rose Wars #6 is
fantastic.
Okay, my number 6 is Heaven and Ale.
Nice.
Yes, so we did talk about that game earlier because it was in your some other list. But yeah, so that one's a really good game. We really enjoy, the whole like little beer theme with it, and we like to put like monk chant music when we play the game because sometimes that game can definitely has its very tense moments. But the monk chant music definitely calms you down. But it's a very thinky game, but not in a way that's like a brain burner, but definitely one that has you strategize. Yeah. Because it's tough to get resources or to get money in there. And then you have to
every single action.
Exactly. Optimizing every single action, being able to also calculate the little farms that you make to get a certain number, so that way you can go up on the tracks, because you have to go up on the tracks, and you're only as good as your worst player in that game. So you definitely need to make sure that you keep all your little things on the track to where you want it to be, so you can at least even score points at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But that game's a fun one, and I really
and that whole game, you're hoping and praying that someone doesn't take your spot of the resources you need to buy.
Yeah, and the little rondel thing. Yeah, exactly.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Game. So now my number 6 is Feudum.
I cheated. I saw that one.
It's by Odd Bird Games. It came out in 2017 by Mark Swanson, and we played it a handful of times, but it's fantastic. We had left down the game table and we just played it every day. We didn't even care. Was it an hour and a half or 3 hour games? I don't remember.
I think the first one was 3 hours, and then after that it got short because we knew what we were doing at that point.
Yeah, that game is just an open sandbox. Do whatever you want. The components, amazing.
I love the push and pull from both sides of the board.
There's a lot to that game, and it's just a tremendous amount of fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, my number 5 is Thunderstone Quest.
The heaviest game we own.
Physically heavy.
Physically, yes. not yeah. 2018 by AEG. Mike Elliott, Brian Reese, and Mark Wooten are the designers. Again, deck building with a board. You're in a town trying to go through
the theme that you like deck builders with boards. Or just deck builders.
It's a fantasy genre, or fantasy theme. You're going to a town and buying stuff from the market, then you're going to the dungeon to fight different monsters.
So let me ask this.
Yeah.
Since we played Barricades and I made it a co-op, has that brought it up at all?
I think that did make it a little bit better for me, because I do prefer co-ops over competitive, so I don't have to worry about getting the right cards to get amount of points. It's more about getting better cards to defeat harder villains.
Yeah, I like the bigger bad.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that.
The Barricades mode really did just... And
it's not hard to learn either.
No. We put it off because it's like, but...
Yeah, it looked intimidating.
Yeah, really?
There was so much content that we already haven't played yet, but we're willing to explore. Okay, go ahead.
5. My number 5 is Empires of the North.
Oh.
Yeah, that one, I was kind of surprised how low it was in your guys's. Or at least for Jerome, I mean.
Was it in my top 10?
No.
I mean, you have the list. We don't have that.
Yeah, it was lower, but I don't know. That game is really, really, really cute. Really beautiful. I love the little cutesy little Japanese and the cutesy little Vikings.
See, I'm torn because I like that cute, but I also like... What was the other game that they have that's kind of similar? The Apocalypse one? Kind of like that darker theme. But yeah, this is like one of the exceptions of the games was like, oh, cute. I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. But that's another game that... It kind of like Paladins, where, I always want to try, like, something different, and, like, well, this one, it has clans, but just with that specific clan, did this work out? How could I make it work better for me next time? And stuff like that. So that game is just something that always wants me leaving more and wanting to try a different strategy the next time I play.
Awesome. All right.
And see, it could have been lower on my list in the top 10, but I've only played it a few times. So it's...
Wow, last game was amazing.
That last game was freaking amazing.
Oh, the game that I was wait, are you guys playing Empires of the North? I thought you guys were playing Bloodborne. I was studying.
Yeah, so last game when we played, I was ahead, but we were just itching behind. Like, he was just right behind my heels. And then all of a sudden, he just blew right past me, and I was like, oh, man.
I was 17 points ahead. Yeah.
17 points ahead, and then in the end... I caught up.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 5. Oh, Empires of the North. Another cross, same time. That's amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna just... We talked about it enough.
Okay.
I love that game. You're gonna love the Ancient Egyptian expansion coming out soon.
I know, I'm excited.
Yeah, so... Alright.
Number 4. Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth.
Nice.
That's a good one.
2019 is Fantasy Flight, Nathan Hyjic and Grace Hollingshouse. I've got 14 plays of it. It's a campaign co-op game. It's app-assisted, just like Mansions of Madness. I think that Fantasy Flight really put more into the app on this one. They took what was great about Mansions and what was poor about Mansions and improved it all. The app keeps more and better track of things on the board and on, I like how you level up. You get more cards. One of the things I really enjoyed, it's not a dice chunker. You're using cards to do combat. So it has a different feel to it. It's very thematic to me. I think one of my biggest arguments, my biggest complaints is that you're using named characters from the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And it kind of pulls you out of the thematics because it's like, when does Bilbo and Frodo go on a mission together?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I like how Imperial Salt did Star Wars stories, random heroes. There's plenty of heroes in Lord of the Rings. There's more than just the one story. So they should have definitely done new characters for everybody. No Legolas. They could have done a Legolas-esque character, a Bilbo-esque character. That's fine, but they shouldn't have done that exactly.
That's
okay. Go ahead. Ooh,
what number are we on? Number
4.
My number 4 is Teotihuacan.
Oh, solid game.
Yeah, so I really, really love that game too. I love the little cacao and we upgraded. Did we ever get the real cocoa
No, we
beans?
didn't.
No,
we were planning to buy some real cocoa beans and just kind of matte spray them so they're not,
Yeah, but that's a really good game. A lot to do in the game, but enough to leave you wanting to play more.
Yeah. What I love about that game, it's easy to teach. The rule book is not that thick, but there's a lot of strategy to it and a lot of planning. So it's a solid game. Super solid. Okay, my number 4 is Gaia Project. So this actually moved down. Gaia Project has been my number 2 for so long. There's been a jump 1 and 2. But I guess we'll talk about that soon. So Gaia Project, Z-Man Games, 2017, 12 plays. It's a pretty heavy game. It's by Jens Dragmuller and Helga Ostreg. Played it 12 times. And I definitely would want to play it more. That game is awesome.
That game's amazing. I'm just going to say that one. That's my next one, my number 3.
Oh, is it?
Because we're already talking about it, So that's my number 3. I love Gaia Project.
Yeah, my thing is, the only thing I don't like about the game is the art. It looks like they got... That game, they knew this was going to be big. And they went with the cheapest art. I feel like if they had TI4 art on Gaia Project, it would have been 11. It would have been 11 for me. Yeah.
It would have been a sexy game, for sure.
Alright, I'm done.
Numero Trace.
Go ahead.
Tainted Grail.
Tainted Grail. Solid game.
2019, I've got 17 plays. Awaken Realm Studio by Krzysztof Prikorsky and Marcin Skórka. I hope I didn't butcher those too badly. It's Arthurian co-op campaign game. Story game.
Dark Arthurian.
Yeah, dark. Very dark. It has a modular card map that you lay out depending on where you move on the map. The It uses a deck system for combat and diplomacy.
Yep.
I will say that can be a little bit fiddly
Clunky.
at times. It's very clunky because if you get a monster that you're trying to fight or to have diplomacy with other people, it just lining up the cards to do, it's clunky.
Yeah, it's clunky.
But for me, it's the story. The story telling the story of these 3 second-class heroes. You're not even the top tier in your town. You're like the last.
I love that. Yeah,
the last edge. That was amazing. And you're reading these stories as you go through it. Just like with this War of Mine, you got a book, and depending on what number happens there, where you're at, you read this part of the story. You're finding clues. You're gaining resources. Just everything that game offered as far as story-wise. The art is beautiful.
Yeah, I'm glad now. So we played it before. We played it. I got the first wave. We played it through, but now they have like apps to tell the story, to read it to you, to make decisions. It's way better.
Yeah, and you just got in the rest of that second wave.
That playmat's amazing.
I'm ready to play more.
Okay. So your number 3, which we already talked about, is Gaia Project. Okay, so my number 3 is Imperial Assault by Fantasy Flight Games. It came out in 2014 by Justin Kempinen and Corey Kanesika.
Yeah, sure.
So we played it 15 times. Like we talked about before, we've only done one full campaign, but every time you play it, it's amazing. It's fun. It's thematic. It's these stories that you're creating in your head also are just amazing, and
it's Star Wars. Period.
Yeah, I'm just excited for.
I can't wait to try it.
Yeah,
I really can't wait to try it.
Yeah, right now I'm currently painting. So previously I painted 78 minis, and I have 98 to go, or 90 to go. So,
woo! Hey, but now you got those scale 75 instant.
Yeah, this paints help out so much.
Or instant colors.
Go ahead.
Color.
My number 2, Arkham Horror, the LCG, the card game.
Shocked.
2016 Fantasy Flight Games, Nate French and Matthew Newman.
Nice. I
have about 14 plays of it. Back again to that, the Cthulhu mythos. Fantasy Flight knows how to steal money.
Yeah,
I mean, they basically have a license to print it at this point. I like this more than Mansions and the board game, because to me the story feels a little more in-depth and drawn out. I like...
It's quicker.
It is quicker, yeah.
The pace is nicer.
I like how the cards can be set up, because unlike the board game, you have a structured board. Yeah. The cards, depending on what story, like the Orient Express, it was literally cards that go across for one portion of it that represented the train. And then there was a casino mission where you had cards here and cards here showing the casino, and then 3 cards back here.
Sorry.
It happens. Then you had 3 cards back here that represented the back of the casino.
And what I liked about that too was, one of the characters we could have chosen was an actress, and she would have started in the backstage because she's an actress. I'm like, for them just to think about that and adding it in is just, it's good.
I love, like you said, that you can upgrade your cards. Because you start, it's a fixed deck, you pre-constructed deck, but you can upgrade one card to another to make it more powerful, or just change it completely. Where was I?
My number 2 is Outer Rim.
Oh wow, that's high.
I mean, Star Wars, period.
Alright, yeah, I mean, we talked about it. All 3 of us talked about it.
Talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. So, my number 2 is Marvel Champions. Surprise to no one in my group. I love that game. It's by Fantasy Flight Games. Came out in 2019 by Michael Boggs, Nate French, Caleb Grace. 56 plays. And honestly, I feel like that's low. I think it could have been higher for sure.
I'm honestly surprised it's your number 2.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I love, like we talked about before, the characters and playing them. Not much to say about that, so.
That's all I got to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a great game. So in this game, I even bought, I never did this before, but I bought like the artist box with the insert to put the cards in.
Mm-hmm.
So, It's fun.
I mean, we really haven't shared our list, but we know what's about to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Gabby, you want to go with your number one? And
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sure. So my number one is underwater cities.
Oh, wow. I was wondering that was going to come up.
Yeah, so we did talk about it earlier in this segment, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, so underwater cities, great game. Last one, okay. Great game for Nate. I know for him it replaced Terraforming Mars. Just because it's more of like a seamless experience of Terraforming Mars, but obviously a way different theme.
And obviously you like it better too.
Yeah, I definitely do. So Underwater Cities is my number one.
Alright, so our number one is Nemesis.
No surprise.
2018, again, Awaken Realms. They got a license to print money.
By Adam
Kopinski.
Yep, and I have 30 plays of it.
I have 17 plays.
Yeah.
I probably have like many
I was addicted to that game, so I just keep on playing it, and then if anybody ever asked, I felt like I had the game very early on, and I was teaching people, showing people, played it in a lot of different groups, brought it to game stores, and pretty much demoed it there. And it's a game I'm fine playing back to back, even though it's 3 to 5 hours.
Yeah, we've done that a couple times.
I mean, and the game can range honestly from like 1 hour to 3 or 5 because it depends if the ship blows up. I've got all the promo stuff, so some of the cool promos, like Dice Tower has a promo where you go into the
shafts.
The shafts.
The corridors.
The corridors, or something like that. So, the game is a lot of fun. And honestly, I feel like it doesn't even really need expansions, but of course I have them all and I enjoy them.
And we're getting more later.
Yep, I have no problem with that.
They're all painted.
Yep. Carnivores was a neat expansion. We still haven't tried Voice Eaters yet.
Yeah, I really like Carnivores. And one of the things I like about the expansions is, well, like you said, we haven't played the Voice Eaters yet. But the Carnivores, they play a good bit different than the Intruders. So it feels like almost a different game because you have to go about a different strategy.
I always talked about how Nemesis is more like a gaming console where you have the system, right? And then you plug in Intruders. Now that's one different type of game. You take that out, you put Carnivores in, and now that's a different game.
Great analogy.
Yeah, it's pretty much a...
The board, the artwork, all fantastic. The minis are pretty good quality.
Yeah, so I might complain with the minis. The big minis, the alien ones, awesome. The human minis, I know they realized it wasn't great quality, so on the latest Kickstarter they had an add-on to purchase better quality minis for your core set, and I got it because
have to.
Why not? I don't mind painting that game.
I like this game so much that I've got 17 plays, and I can basically play your copy anytime I want. I went all in on this last Kickstarter. I bought the original game, all the expansions, and the new expansion Lockdown.
Yep.
I want it for myself so that I can play it anytime I want it.
Yep. I just went all in on the new expansion Lockdown stuff, plus I bought me a hoodie, probably a plush doll too. I don't know what I bought. I just bought everything, so whatever they let me buy.
Take all my money!
Yeah.
I'm licensed to print money.
But, yeah, so that's it. So, how do you guys feel about each other's list?
It makes sense. I mean,
it makes sense, yeah. I would, some of the numbers on yours surprise me.
Yeah.
That's, you not so much just because like I don't know your style of gaming as much as I know his. But
well, I'm a little more new to expanded gaming. You know, I've been gaming since like 2012, but it was Munchkin and Shaggy and stuff like that. But it wasn't until I met you guys that I really started expanding and getting the games. So my list is a little
it gets like that. When we started gaming, we just went ham. I mean,
we really did.
When we went, started gaming with the guys in Hollywood, cool stuff. We really expanded there, and then discovering Kickstarter was a mess, a terrible.
That was a nightmare.
Thanks for introducing and breaking the wallet.
Yeah, pretty much Kickstarter is fine. It's just you spend all this money on Kickstarter,
and then you don't see it for a year or two.
Yeah,
Gabby, was there anything on Nate's that really surprised you? Was there anything on mine that really surprised you?
I think on Nate's, what surprised me the most was that Kingdom Death was number 29.
That wasn't make it. And Thunderstone didn't make it either.
Yeah, I was surprised that Thunderstone didn't make it.
Yeah, Thunderstone didn't make it. Journey to Middle Earth didn't make it. Scythe didn't make it. Oceans didn't make it. It would have made it if I kept the. I did rank it. It would have kept. It would have been on there because I've really been. Like you said, I've been really itching to play Oceans. So yeah. I like that.
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh no, I was gonna say nothing really surprised me with yours. I think it was pretty spot on to what you listed.
Nate, what about mine and hers?
Well, I mean, I'm surprised you didn't have your Dixit on there or read your book, or whatever. So I'm proud or happy because
proud.
Yeah. No, because you know what I'm saying. I think you know this list you actually took your real time and not putting just nostalgia for nostalgia purposes.
Yeah, I have a couple of nostalgic games. Bring Your Own Book because I was a librarian, and then Dixit because it's an amazing game to me. And I really took my time and thought about it. And as much as I wanted to put those on there for nostalgia reasons, I had to be honest.
Yeah. Gabby's list, let me see. But honestly, I'm not surprised you guys weren't surprised with my list because...
Yeah, I mean, I think we know you. You talk about games literally 24/7.
I love games. I talk about games all day.
Honestly, with yours... Oh, you're still looking at hers.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lisboa, in a way, because we haven't played it in a while.
Yeah.
But it's just a game that we always look at and we always want to play, but we haven't. Just like Freedom right now, I want to play that.
Yeah, that's why both of those were on there for me, was because I do really enjoy the games, even though I haven't got to play them as much. And that was kind of going with what we were talking about earlier, some of these games that I put, or maybe that I originally have put, I was like, do I want to put these because they're my top 30 or because I'd rather get them to the table because I haven't? So I really tried to narrow it down and put, no, this is what I for sure would play out of all the other games. When I circle around Nate's board game room, I'm like, okay, what are my games that I want to play no matter what? So that's how I came up with my list.
Yeah.
For me, I think Heaven and Nail was a little bit of a surprise to me.
Was it?
Yeah, just because we've only played it a couple times, and I just, the last time you didn't seem like you were interested, so I thought maybe I didn't realize it was, that high. For Gabby, Nemesis. It surprised me that you actually have it on your list.
I'm not surprised.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
I'm surprised you didn't put Marvel Champions on there.
Really?
Yeah, you said last time that it might be your top 10 or 11.
Well, it's not.
And you forgot Greatest and Trails, which I'm shocked.
And Mansions of Madness.
That's wild.
I forgot both of those.
You have to redo your list now.
I know. My list is no longer valid.
Alright, cut. Let's do it all again.
Yep. Alright, scratch.
So, let us know what you think about our lists. Who's your favorite? Is there anything on your on our list that you're like, what the hell are you people thinking? Follow our social media, like us, do all that good stuff.
Yep. The segments for the other videos will be down in the description below, so you can check those out.
So
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks.